Hello! How are you doing, guys? Time for the final part of my Knights of the Frozen Throne review. And we're going through the last few neutral cards. And quite a few legendaries to go through. And our favourite meat wagon. So yeah, let's roll. First, we have a 6-mana 5/3 Necrotic Geist. Or Geist. I think it's Geist, but I say Geist. Whenever one of your other minions dies, summon a 2/2 ghoul. So instantly you think, oh, could this work in token decks? It's obviously pretty good if you have lots of minions on the board and you're you play this and then you trade a minion off and then you get a 2/2 back. Trade a minion off and get 2/2 back. It's almost like Soul of the Forest a little bit. Soul of the Forest is definitely better than this card though. However, this is obviously neutral, so you can use this in classes other than Druid. I don't think it's quite good enough to see playing constructed. Could be interesting in Arena. Like if you get 1 minion out of this, you get a 5/3 and a 2/2. Like it's okay. It's not good, but it's okay. If you get 2 minions out of this, then it suddenly is good. So any kind of like tokeny deck, you can try and make this work in, but I don't think it's quite. I think it's quite good enough. I mean, maybe Zoo. Like, would you ever play this in like some kind of Zoo deck? Probably not, because with Zoo and that type of thing, you're generally trying to, like on turn 5, you're trying to have a big play like a Doom Guard or something like that. And you're usually trying to close the game out rather than going for a very... Like, this is very tokeny. This isn't, like, not face at all. This is just get loads of dudes on the board. How about Shaman? You get all your totems and you play this and, like, Flame Tongue and then trade them off and get 2/2s. It's slightly too situational, I feel. Like, I think it's going to be a bit too hard to actually get value out of this, is my problem with this card. You can get a lot of value out of it, but it's slightly too hard to get the value, I think. Bloodworm, 5 and a 4/4 Beast Lifesteal. So this is a mid-rangey minion that has Lifesteal. What deck would you play this in is an interesting question. So obviously Warlock is the class that would most benefit from Lifesteal. So you think, okay, could this fit into Warlock? If you were playing this in Warlock, I feel like you'd be playing some kind of like maybe even Handlock style deck where you're playing like some Furies and Arguses and that type of thing, because giving this taunt could make a massive difference. So maybe that style of deck you could play it in, some kind of Handlocky style deck. Maybe a Control Hunter you could play this in, because using Handmaster on this could be really good. You can get a load of health back. So I think Control Hunter will be probably the first deck I'm going to try and use this card in. Obviously, it looks kind of underwhelming, but I think that's because I think it's easy to underestimate Lifesteal. I think Lifesteal in general just kind of seems slightly underwhelming. But there are specific decks this could be good in. Rogue could sometimes use Lifesteal, but I can't imagine this being played in Rogue. I feel like some kind of Control Warlock or Control Hunter are possibly the two places we're most likely to see this card. This card also means you can get a Lifesteal. You can actually get healing in Hunter. So maybe the most important thing about this card is that you can get Lifesteal from Jeweled Macaw or from the Hunter Death Knight Hero Power. You can actually get Lifesteal. That's a pretty big deal. So yeah, going to be interesting to see if we can make this work at all in Hunter. But yeah, I think it's fairly good actually. Wicked Skeleton, 4 mana 1/1, Battlecry, gain +1/+1 for each minion that died this turn. So, if you're using like a big AoE, so something like a Pyro Equality, and then you play this, you can get this really big. But I think this is one of those cards that is just a bit too understated. Like, you have to kill 4 minions, even to just get a 5/5. And a 4 mana 5/5 is way not worth it. Like, you have to kill so many minions for this to be worth playing. And I don't think that's going to happen enough. So I think this card is just pretty bad, unfortunately. Prince KOTFT, 2 mana 2/2 legendary. Battlecry, if your deck has no 2-cost cards, give all minions in your deck +1/+1. So this card's effect is obviously very powerful. Giving every minion in your deck +1/+1 is a very big deal. But the downside is pretty huge. You have to have no 2-cost cards, which is pretty bad. If this saw any play, the places I can imagine this seeing play are maybe Zoo. Zoo doesn't have many good 2-mana minions. Direwolf Alpha is really the only minion that you're going to miss. I mean, you wouldn't be able to play... What's its face? Where is it? Fallen Sun Cleric, which could maybe play in Zoo. But I'm definitely going to try this in Zoo. Because there's definitely a place that could potentially work. If you're playing this card, you need to be playing a deck with a lot of minions. And Zoo is a deck with a lot of minions. And a lot of cheap minions as well. So, and because of life tap, it's not so bad that they're in your deck. So you can life tap to keep drawing them. So definitely going to try this in Zoo. Also Quest Hunter, which is a deck that no one plays. But this could be very good in Quest Hunter. Obviously you're going to be playing a lot of 1-mana minions. And you don't need, there's no 2-drops you need to play. You can play the Hunter Quest. You can play a load of 1-mana minions. You could play something like a Crackling Razormaw or a Hyena, but you don't need to. You could just play this instead, and instead try and take a slightly different route with Quest Hunter, which could be quite good actually. I feel like I would definitely, if I was trying to make Quest Hunter work, I think I would definitely just play this and build around it because it's so beneficial. It's even good after you've put all the Raptors in your deck because you give all of your you make all of your Raptors 4/3s instead of 3/2s, which is a pretty big deal. So yeah, I would like to see this and try this in Quest Hunter, even though Quest Hunter isn't very good. The one other place I would quite like to see this minion is Tempo Rogue. So Rogue is things like, I've been playing a lot of Elemental Rogue recently, and there's no 2-cost cards that are essential to that deck. I'm playing Undercity Huckster, but we're fine to not play that. That card isn't important. Eviscerate is the only card we're really going to miss out, because Eviscerate is obviously a very good rogue card. But maybe we could play some kind of Tempo Rogue without Eviscerates, and then you could play this in, and you play a lot of minions, like things like Argent Squires, like Firefly, Swashbuckler Patches. You can play the new Plague Scientist, like that style of rogue, a very tempo-orientated rogue. That's another place we could maybe play Prince KOTFT. So yeah, I do really like this card. It obviously has a big downside, but the upside is pretty nice. And so in a deck where you don't have that many 2-cost cards, you can maybe tweak it slightly to play this. This really encourages, makes you think about deck building, which is great. So I like this card a lot. Next, we have Prince Valenar, 4-mana 4/4, Battlecry. If your deck has no 4-cost cards, gain Lifesteal and Taunt. I think it's very easy to underestimate this card, as a 4-mana 4/4 Lifesteal and Taunt could be insane in certain decks that don't have much healing. So an obvious one is Miracle Rogue, where the only 4-drop they play is Sherazin. So I think you're fairly happy not playing Sherazin to play this card, because this can really help you stall quite a bit and get you to those later Miracle turns where you're going off with Auctioneer and stuff like that. So I think I would definitely play this over Sherazin and Miracle Rogue. Other classes that really need could do with some kind of heal. Warlock is an obvious one, but Warlock is a lot more awkward because if you're playing this in Warlock, there's a lot of really good Warlock cards that are 4 mana. Things like you want to play Twilight Drake, you want to play Hellfire, Shadow Flame, Blast Crystal Potion. Not being able to play... I mean, Hellfire is the main one. Not being able to play Hellfire is a big deal. So, yeah. And Hunter is another one. You really want to play Houndmaster. Houndmaster is so important in Hunter. But Miracle Rogue, I could definitely see this maybe seeing play. I mean, maybe even Quest... This could be another one you maybe even play Quest Hunter. You can literally play Quest Hunter with Prince KOTFT and Prince Valenar, and you don't play any other 2 or 4 drops, and then you play a load of 1 drops, a load of 3 drops, a load of 5 drops. Well, I say a load of 5 drops, a couple of 5 drops, maybe Tundra Rhinos and Tolvir Wardens. Yeah, I'm actually going to try that. I'm going to try a Prince Quest Hunter. Yeah. No, it's kind of cool. This one, there's a lot less decks that you can actually fit it in because it's really hard to find a deck that doesn't have many good 4 drops. But there are certain things where this could be useful. And it is like a 4 and a 4/4 lifesteal taunt is very good. Like I must emphasize that. Like it is really good. You can restore, like you can potentially restore infinite health. If they have a board of 1/1s, you can restore 16 health by them trading all their 1/1s into it. So even if they just trade 2, like the most likely outcome is probably that they'll have to trade like 2 minions into this. And then you're having a 4 and a 4/4 taunt that was restoring 8 health to your hero, which is really good. Okay. The final Prince Taldaron. 3 mana 3/3, Battle Cry. If your deck has no 3-cost cards, transform into a 3/3 copy of a minion. So, yeah. I feel like this is another one where it would be better in Wild than Standard, because in Wild there's a lot more minions that have really powerful effects you want to use it on. So things like Emperor, things like Ragnaros, powerful death rattle effects like Sylvanas. There's not as many things I feel in Standard you're going to want to play this on. You can play it on the... You can actually play it on the Nerubian Unraveler. So for 9 mana, you play a 5/5 and a 3/3, and all spells cost 4 more, which is pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. There's a lot of cards in like a big Druid type deck, things like Ysera, which it's fairly good to use on. Using it on the Lich King is alright. Death Rattles are a good way of using this card. But I actually feel like this is the worst of the 3. I think a lot of people would consider Prince Valinar as the worst of the 3 princes. I actually think this is the worst. Like 3 mana cards are so important, I feel. It's so hard to find a deck that has no good 3-cost cards. Like maybe... I was going to say Control Warrior, but you have Shield Block and Ravaging Ghoul, which are really important. Hunter's 3 slot is stacked. Shaman's 3 slot is stacked. I guess Warlock. Warlock, you don't really need that many 3 mana cards. Like you have like Shadow Bolt, but now Gang Boss is gone. I mean, Farseer is important in Control Warlock sometimes. Rogue has so many things in the 3 mana slot. I feel like this is like Druid is probably the one class where this should fit in, mainly because Druid's 3 mana slot isn't very good. Like Feral Rage is not essential. Jade Blossom is not essential. But even in some kind of big Druid deck, I don't think you even want to play this. I really don't think you even want to play this. There aren't enough minions you want to use it on. You want to use it on the Lich King. You want to use it on Ysera. Other than that, there's no point using it on Deathwing Dragonlord because you've already got Deathwing Dragonlord on the board. You can use it on Meat Wagon, and then it becomes a 3/3 that pulls a minion with 2 or less attack out your deck. Maybe that's where you could use it. But yeah, I actually think this is the worst. Yeah. But in Wild, this could have good uses. It's just like the current standard in standard currently. This doesn't seem good to me. Hildner Frost Rider, 3 mana 4/4, Battle Cry freeze your other minions. So obviously a 3 mana 4/4 is good stats for a 3-drop, definitely. If you have no minions on the board, this is great. You have no minions on the board, this is definitely great. And you can obviously use it and potentially freeze Shaman. Freezing your own minions is not that great. Like the only reason you're ever going to want to freeze your own minions is because of Murabi. Whenever you freeze another minion, add a copy of it to your hand. You don't mind freezing your minions in Shaman as much as well, because in Shaman you have things like Flame Tongue and Mana Tide and Primal Fin, which are obviously all have, and your totems, which all have 0 attack. So you're pretty happy freezing 0 attack minions because they can't attack anyway. So yeah, Shaman feels like a place you could maybe use this card. Maybe Face Hunter, like maybe actually Face Hunter because it's just got good stats. And if you have nothing on the board, which you're probably not going to do in Hunter, then a 3-mana 4/4 is good. Yes, this is a good card. It's going to be worse in things like... This is going to be better in a deck like Face Hunter than it is going to be a deck like Aggro Druid. Because Aggro Druid has a very good early game and lots of minions early game, and you're going to be freezing them all. Whereas Hunter has less minions early game, and so you're happier playing... Like, you're more likely to play this onto an empty board. Okay, Spellweaver. 6-mana 4/4, spell damage +2. So, similar to Evolved Kobold in terms of the spell damage +2, but it's 6 mana and has +2/+2 in terms of stats. I don't think you really care about the stats that much. The mana is a lot more important, I feel. Like in a deck where you're wanting spell damage +2, you're going to be playing a lot of spells, and you're much more worried about the... You just want to play something... You want to play the spell damage +2 for as cheap as possible, rather than thinking about the actual stats of the minions. So, like, I think Archmage, the 6-mana 4/7 spell damage +1 is better than this, and I think Evolved Kobold is better than this because of the 2 mana less as well. So, I don't think this is that great. Arthas. 4-mana 2/2 Beast, Death Rattle, add a random Death Knight card to your hand. So it's obviously a Death Rattle, so you can play this in Azoth decks. 4-mana 2/2 is obviously very bad stats. It's obviously bad stats. It's kind of like Kazakus, where you're going to be playing something on turn 4 that's got bad stats, but then you're going to be getting something good back from it. However, it's definitely worse than Kazakus, because Kazakus you are effectively choosing your spell. Obviously you have limited options, but you are choosing what you're getting. Whereas Arthas, you're getting 1 random card out of these 8 Death Knight cards. And the problem I have with the Death Knight cards is that there's 8 of them, and they're so random. Like, it's going to be very kind of like, oh, do I get the one I need or do I not? Like, sometimes there's going to be the 3 damage AoE Death Knight card, which is really good. There's the 2 mana one, which either does 5 damage or restores 5 health. Which is also very good in a lot of situations. But there's some that are very clunky, and so a lot of the time you're going to be getting a Death Knight card that you don't really want and isn't actually going to be that impactful. So I don't think Arthas is as good as... Like, when I first saw Arthas, I was like, oh, Arthas is going to be great. But, yeah, I don't think Death Knight cards are going to be that insane. Because of the randomness. Like, sometimes you're going to get the perfect one that's going to be insane, and it can win you the game on its own. But it's only like a 1 in 8 to get the one you want. Because a lot of them can give you really good tempo back. So you lose the tempo by playing a 4-mana 2/2, but then you regain tempo by playing the Death Knight card. However, you're not always going to be regaining the tempo, because you're not always going to get the Death Knight card you want. So it's a good card that I think we'll see some play. Maybe in some kind of control hunter. I mean, it's going to be a control deck. You're not going to be playing this in an aggro deck. But in some kind of Azoth deck, I think you're probably going to play this card. Yeah. It's also a beast, so it has beast energies. But yeah, so really, it's a cool card. It's a cool card, but not as good as I first thought it was. I think it will see some play, though. It will see some play. Night Howler. 4-mana 3/4. Whenever this minion takes damage, gain +2 attack. This minion makes no sense to me. It's like a Gurubashi Berserker that's just worse. With its effect, where whenever it takes damage, it's getting + attack. You want it to have a lot more health than attack. Whereas only having 4 health for 4 mana is not that good. Like, you'd much rather this have be say a 2/5, or maybe even like a 1/6. I feel like you'd maybe even prefer this to be a 1/6, man. Like, it just doesn't have enough health. So yeah, I don't think this card is very good. Venomancer, 5-mana 2/5 poisonous. So this is in Arena. I think this card's gonna be really nice. Like, you're gonna be pretty happy getting this in Arena, because it's a 5-mana minion that can trade into anything. Plus it's got 5 health, which is okay, so it could potentially trade into 2 minions, which would be really nice. But in Standard, it's just a card that can be Potion of Madness and stolen with Cabal Shadow Priest. And generally, it's just not a card you're going to be playing in Standard, I think. Yeah. Okay, the Lich King. 8 mana, 8/8 taunt. At the end of your turn, add a random Death Knight card to your hand. So, similarity to Ysera, how it's a big late game minion that adds a very powerful card to your hand at the end of your turn. But the fact it has taunt is a massive deal. So it makes it gives you protection against aggro decks. Like a lot of the time when you play Ysera and then it just gets ignored. And then the aggro deck just kills you. Whereas this can't be ignored. So I think it's going to be definitely more popular than Ysera. Death Knight cards, like I said with Arthas, they are very random. Sometimes you're going to get something you want, sometimes you're going to get something useless. So it's a bit up in the air, the whole Death Knight card thing. But this will surely see some play somewhere, I think. In some control decks. Yeah, maybe if you're trying to play Taunt Druid, you probably try and make this work. Maybe even play this in Hunter, Control Hunter. Like, I can't stop thinking about Control Hunter. Like, I'm looking forward to playing Control Hunter so much, so this is all I'm thinking about. Every single card, I'm like, does this go in Control Hunter? But yeah, it's a fairly good card. It's not absolutely insane, but it's pretty good. Okay. Meat Wagon. It's a bit of a meme. You'll have to make your deck with a bit of a theme. I'm not going to break into the whole rap, but yeah, in my rap, I kind of explained my thoughts on Meat Wagon, and it's definitely a bit of a meme, and you definitely, if you want to play it, you definitely will have to make your deck with a bit of a theme. But hand buffs are probably, I think hand buffs are probably the best way to try and utilize this card. Something like some kind of warrior or paladin deck where you're buffing this minion's attack and then pulling something. Like say you use Inner Rage on this, and then you could pull like a Bloodhoof Brave, for example. That type of thing I feel will probably be the best use for Meat Wagon. It's also another card where if more low attack minions in the future get brought out, that it could become more popular. But yeah, Warrior might even be the best hope. Mainly because Warrior, like Tempo Warrior, generally has a lot of low attack, high health minions. Maybe even playing like some kind of Gurubashi Berserker Warrior, and you play this card. But yeah, it's a bit of a meme. Okay, that is my card review, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. We have discussed all 135 cards that are being released, and they are out tomorrow. So I really can't wait. Really can't wait for all these new cards. I'm gonna be playing so many meme decks all over the place, and can't wait. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed my reviews. That is it, and hope everyone gets stuck in with the new expansion, trying some stuff out. Catch you later.